Hello, welcome to the Renessa Rios Love Talks. I am super excited today to come to you with our podcast and being able to share with you some one-on-one time with your matchmaker, with a matchmaker, dating coach, and author, and really go into some really head-on topics that people are going through that are single, that are in relationships, and are struggling and need help with their love life. And I'm so thankful that I'm in the position to help bring some knowledge, some encouragement, some advice, some tips, and be able to bring some support your way, because there's so many questions. I work with thousands of singles every month, and everyone has different questions and are coming from so many different areas in their love life. So today we're going to be focused on the epidemic, which I truly know is happening. The epidemic of single women that are over 40 to 45 years old, that are going through one of the most hardest times in today's society in probably thousands of years, hundreds of years, in their dating life, and trying to find a partner and trying to connect with someone that they can relate to in their age group, or, you know, whether it's 5 or 6 years older, 5 or 6 years younger, or even up to 10 years older or younger. They are having the worst time ever. And this is happening all over the U.S. I know there's some other data that's coming in from other countries, and from Canada, from Australia, from Europe, all over, that are women that are over the age of 40, 45, even to their 50s, 60s, and of course going into 70s. But I'm going to really focus more towards 50 to 65, or 45 to 65. As that is our baby boomers group, and they are having a hard time. I get tons of emails. I have hundreds of women that are on a wait list for me as a matchmaker that are wanting to get our services. And as soon as I have a gentleman that signs up in this age group, it's usually about 60 to 90 days and they're in a relationship. So my process of being able to successfully matchmake someone is very fast for that age group, for the men's side of things. And of course they get matched with a woman. So a woman is definitely taken in that place, but it's close to 3 to 4 women for every one guy. That's a big, big, big difference there, compared to like my younger demographic, my 20s, 30s, and early 40s, but more 20s and 30s. It's about 3 men to every 1 woman, especially here in the Seattle area, because we have so many tech companies that are employed with 80 to 90% men to 10 to 20% women workforce. So it's a huge shift that's going on in today's society. And so what does that mean? You know, as women are coming to me going, Renessa, what does that mean? Am I not going to find a partner? Does it mean there's no men out there for me? Am I going to be single forever? The answer is no. There are still men out there. There are still great partners out there. Unfortunately, it's going to be, you got to get a little creative with how you are doing that. A lot of my events, a lot of older, or like I said, over 45-year-old singles are coming out to all my different functions and events. So they are getting off the online world and trying and adventuring out into the dating world. But I even went to the U.S. Census Bureau just to kind of check, like, what are we looking at here? And we're talking, millions and millions of singles that we have in the U.S., and we're talking millions of more women than men. And does this mean that the men are being married? Are they dying sooner than the ladies? What is going on? Where did these men go? And what is going to happen here as we look in the next 10 years, and lots of women that are living alone, that are financially stable, that are looking for a partner? And are we just having to give up? Are the women just having to give up on their love life? And me being an encourager for love and wanting to help cure loneliness, I really know that it's important that women that are over 45 don't give up on love, and that they do continue to look for new advantages on finding the right partner. So what does that look like? And what does this epidemic mean for us? Well, we're in a crisis. As these women continue to do life alone, they're not happy. And because they're not happy, we see a lot of women that are going towards antidepressants. They're going towards anxiety. They are not happy with their lives. I've seen a lot of women that are in the process of either gaining weight or losing a lot of weight. So there's a whole pharmaceutical side that's a part of these women's lives that are just not excited about what they have to go through. There's depression. There's a lot of loneliness. There's a lot of talk of just giving up on love altogether. Isolation. So these women are living very isolated lives. They don't go out on the weekends. They don't want to go and be encouraged by friends. They don't want to go to parties or galas or charity events. They go to the grocery store, they come home, they maybe talk to a few family members, and that's it. And years are going by, and they're frustrated, and they're angry, and they're upset, and rightfully so. Like, they have some reasons to be that way. So what is the answer? What can we do, right? And I talk to a lot of single men, and even the men, unfortunately, have a different advantage. If a man's 45, or let's just say 50 years old, he has about 3 different demographics to choose from, which is, I believe, is unfortunately unfair, because it's not the same as women. So we're looking at 2 different complexities here, where the men are able to choose women between the ages, let's say he's 50 years old. There's some 35 to 40-year-old women who are open to dating an established 50-year-old gentleman. So he gets to choose women in their late 30s or 30s, 40s, and then he even gets to go into his own age group, which is the 50s. So he's getting 3 different generations of singles to choose from, totally different than what women are experiencing. Most women, not all, but I'm speaking on the majority, because I work with thousands of singles every month. And so with that being said, most women are wanting to stick within a 5 to 6 year difference in age group, sometimes even less than that, maybe 3 years, depending on how active their lifestyle is, and depending on how youthful and what they enjoy doing with their off time. So this means that women maybe are choosing men between 45 and 55. So they're not going down into the 30s. They don't necessarily want to go up to the 60s. So they have even a smaller pool. So we open up that pool, and what do we get? And is that something, someone that we're going to be attracted to intellectually, physically, whether it's going older or going younger? So there's a lot of options there. Doesn't mean that we need to shut those doors. But I do believe as women that we do need to be more creative. We do need to look at our dating pool and not just base it on an age, but open to what this person's lifestyle is, their maturity level, their financial stability, their emotional stability. I believe there's so much invested in each person that to generalize all men are this way or all women are this way, it's not fair. I can give you an overall statistic because I'm in this business almost 10 years now, and I can see what's happening, what's kind of the waves that are going on with the women and the men in the different age groups. And as we continue to get older and live longer, what does that mean for our women and our men that are wanting partnership and companionship? And that's what I believe in. I stand in that space of cheering that on, of doing life with someone you love and ending in loneliness. That's my big goal, is let's end loneliness and share life with someone we love. Whether that's a new girlfriend or guy friend, creating new friendships, or actually inviting our lifetime partner into our life. I really am big on that. So what does that mean? Why am I sharing that with you? Because we need to make an agreement that I don't want to do life alone. And once we see that we don't want to do life alone, then we can become more creative. And this means that we need to have more than one option than just online dating. There's tons of mobile apps that are coming out where you could be more anonymous before you actually share your photo with your partner, which is huge because it gives women the process to being more of the leader, or we'll say the leader, but more in control of being selected or not. With online dating, your picture and your profile is huge. So if, ladies, if you're in your 40s and 50s or even your 60s and your pictures don't look that great and they're not that updated, or you're not smiling, or you look really serious, or you're not dressed up, or you don't have that feminine look, understand that with the online dating world, it's a pure competition market. So you are competing with all of the other women and all of the other men in that age group. Now, I talk to a lot of men and say, Renessa, where's all these great women at? I don't know where they are. I meet women, they're not really wanting a long-term committed relationship. So there's a lot of really, really good guys out there that aren't online. So they don't like the process of having to email hundreds of women, to have spammers come back to them, people wanting to do sex chat with them, pornography websites trying to market to them. They're getting so much inundation with all these other online companies that are wanting to access their business and charge them for their time, and they're not real people. So they get frustrated with that, and they get frustrated with emailing all these women and not getting a word back. It's the online world really toughens up that heart, because really when you reach out to people, it's kind of like, and they don't connect back with you, you're being ignored. Who wants to be ignored? No one wants to be ignored. But as we reach out to someone, we email them, tell them something that we like about their profile or a photo or something that we have in common, and we never hear back from that person. It's a constant place of feeling like you're ignored. That eventually plays a huge part emotionally and mentally to our singles atmosphere of constantly being ignored online. And we kind of act like, oh, well, if they wanted to contact me, they would have, no big deal. Tomorrow I'll look up 50 new profiles and so on. And I definitely believe in online dating. I teach online dating classes. So I do believe this is one avenue of helping you, whether it's online dating or going out and connecting, getting a part of different golf events, networking events, different charity events in the city, definitely looking at different functions that are happening, that are going on. But going back to this place of emotionally, a lot of our men over 45 are so exhausted from rejection. Most of them, about 80 to 90%, are divorced. So you're dealing with someone who has dealt with being loved, and then just like women, we've been loved, and then we had a heartbreak. And when we deal with a heartbreak, women tend to go to healers, tend to go to therapists, counselors, girlfriends, family. We really use our community to help us, and we share how we're hurting, or we're in pain, or what we're going through. But men don't necessarily do that. They don't have the same community. There are some men that do, don't get me wrong. They might go to their family members. They may go to a close brother or sister, mom or dad, maybe some close buddies, but still they don't necessarily have the same number of community. And then being vulnerable and open and sharing, I loved her. I really wanted this to work out. And these are some of the mistakes I made. So there's that self-awareness. These are some of the things that I know I could improve on for my next relationship. So there's so much there. And so when you look at being rejected going forward, a lot of these men are kind of going, Renessa, I don't want to get hurt again. It costs my heart so much pain and healing. And so there's this whole side of, and I'll definitely do another podcast on, healing. And I have another great gal friend that I'm going to be partnering with as well, Heather, that will be sharing a lot of great resources for that. But when we look at this dating over 45, we have to kind of take a step back and take a little breather and see that everyone is coming in with healing. We're all coming to the table with healing hearts, healed hearts. Some are more healed than others. Some, the scar is gone. For some, the scar is still there. And for those that we don't want to start a relationship with, that cut and that hurt and that pain is still very much alive. And so they need a little bit more healing and more time for that. So kind of going back to that. And for whatever reason, we needed to talk about that. Kind of going back into the process of what can women do in this epidemic, in this crisis time. Whenever I put a singles event out for women over 40, it sells out within 48 hours. I usually have to do extra marketing to get the men to come out. They do come out, but it's like, hey guys, we need you. And I just think that the men over 45 need to know they're needed, they're wanted, that if they have a great heart and they want a long-term committed relationship and they want to share their life with someone, there are a lot of women out there. And I don't think they know that maybe. I think that a lot of them live these secluded lives. As a matter of fact, I know that. They go to work, they go to the gym, they go to the grocery store, they maybe have some friends and family they connect with on the weekends, do some things around the house or do some activities. But then they're pretty much the same thing, this routine throughout their life. And they're going, hey, I would do tons of things in my life, movies, theater, travel, but I want to do it with someone. So they choose to kind of live these more isolated, lonely lives because they don't want to go and do all those things by themselves. Is that an excuse for them? No, but it's understanding the mentality, the demographic of your audience of, well, what do men over 45, what are they doing? And sometimes, ladies, we can be a little bit too judgmental. So if he doesn't come to the table with exactly what we want to hear, exactly what we want in communication, in how he shares about his life, how he shares about his goals, how he shares about his passions, we just dump these guys to the side. And a lot of these really good guys are exhausted from that. So how do we find this median place, right? There's good guys and there's great women. And I think we need to add some compassion to our dating life. That's the biggest emotion that I feel that is missing from our dating life is compassion. We feel very judged. We feel very rejected. We feel ignored. We feel frustrated, angry, bitter, upset, hurt, pain, until we find the right partner. And then we're like, yay, we're back to happiness, joy, passion, romance, intimacy. So there's all these wonderful things once we find the right partner compared to when we are looking for the right partner with disappointment, going on dates and not getting the results we want, finding someone we really like and then hearing maybe they don't like us the same way. So this whole process of these kind of yo-yo emotions can be very frustrating at times. And I want you to know that the best way to stay inspired in your dating and love life is to have compassion on yourself and compassion on the person you are interested in. So compassion on maybe this person's not going to share all of these wonderful things with you because the last person they shared with, they judged them and they rejected them. So they might need 2 or 3 dates to really warm up to you. If it's a good person, why is that a problem? It took me and my husband and I 3 dates before we really felt comfortable where we wanted to kiss and connect and do all the process of getting to know each other than just meeting. The first couple of dates, it was just this talking, or the first couple of times just getting together were just kind of like meetings and just sharing. But then all of a sudden it was like, hey, I really do like you. I really do want to be with you. I really do see there's a lot there. But it didn't happen in the first hour or 60 minutes or hour and a half of meeting him. He is a very nice gentleman, but sometimes our spark is off if we're not necessarily used to being treated well, or if we've dated all the wrong guys in the past. So I had to learn to have compassion on myself and go, let me have some compassion on this gentleman. He's a nice guy. He's got a lot to offer. I know I'm not necessarily feeling this huge spark right away, but let me see about who he is. And then all of a sudden on our 3rd date, he started talking about his goals and being a part of running for Congress and doing these things that help our community and being in this place of role modeling for his 3 children and wanting to help our elderly, our school systems. And he just had this beautiful vision that he's still living into today. And I'm like, wow. Why didn't you share that with me the first or second date? Because I really that builds a lot more attraction for me to you, because you're a man with such great vision and heart for people and generous and, just very like-minded to me, care about our community, which is my biggest passion of what I do. And he said, my ex-wife used to always put me down for my dreams. Oh, you're not going to do that, or that's not going to happen, or you're wasting your time, or she just didn't have the same vision as him. And, after you get put down for so many years and you go through that for so long, you eventually just stop sharing those things. And you're definitely going to be a little bit more hesitant when you go on a date with somebody that you're attracted to potentially share all those things, because that partner might reject you as well. And because you dealt with so much rejection, it's very easy to feel like it might happen again. So as we have this one-on-one time here from me to you, kind of think about, what am I holding back in my dating life? Do I have compassion on myself? What am I comfortable sharing? What am I not comfortable sharing? How am I building attraction with someone that I do like? I have a lot of these dating classes and workshops on my website, matchdatelove.com, that go over these things, and you can get one of those seminars under our shopping store tab there. But really just take a moment to see, where am I allowing compassion in my life? And when I meet someone and I don't really necessarily feel that spark, although I see they have a good heart, although I see they are, they have emotions and they're open to sharing them and they're a great communicator, am I being too judgmental too early on? And am I missing out on some really good opportunities to find a great man or a great woman that can love me? And that to me that's the end game, right? When you have someone that loves you so much and wants to spend their life with you and wants to connect with you and wants to enjoy your time and wants to know, when do you get off and what are we doing this weekend, and wants to kiss you and hold you and love you. That is life. Like, that to me is partnership and joy. And when I look back at my life, when I'm, 80, 90 years old, I want to know that it was filled with love and partnership and growth and challenges and overcomings and victories. And I got to do that with my husband. I got to do that with my partner. And so for you, I know that there's somebody there for you just taking the time to listen to my podcast and just be in this place. Just really know that God, universe, whatever you believe in, has a partner for you. I have seen some of the most weirdest couples, and I would think, how in the heck did he find someone, the way that he talks or looks or this or that? And he found somebody that adores him and loves him, and vice versa. But they got out of the house. They didn't just do online dating. They tried multiple avenues of looking for love. And I have all those avenues listed on my website, where you can find 15 different places in each city to find a partner. And really connect with, having compassion for yourself and not being so judgmental. If you're frustrated or angry, sometimes it might be good just to take a step back from your dating and love life, because men and women can feel that frustration, can feel that anger, and that's not what you want to represent, right? If I'm here doing my podcast and I just got into this huge argument, or I'm frustrated or angry about something that's in my life, it's going to come across with how I'm connecting with you. You're going to hear it in my voice. You're going to feel it in my body language, or see it in my body language. You're going to see it through my eye contact. You're going to really notice just through what I'm saying that I'm frustrated or angry. So really take that in, that sometimes your dating life might not be that great because of how you are feeling about dating. And how do you shift that? How do you feel more open, more connected, more fun and playful and flirtatious? And so I think that's what our next podcast will be. We'll be talking about how I can be more fun and more playful and flirtatious in my dating life, so that way you can get the results you want. and really just take a moment just to see that we are dealing with an epidemic and a crisis for women. And guys, if you're listening to this, know that every woman that I talk to that has a wonderful, loving, caring heart wants a wonderful, loving, caring man. So we're not looking for Mr. Perfect. We're just looking for someone who is loyal, is monogamous, is a loving, generous heart with his time. And because we want to give that back to you. Right? We're not asking for something that we cannot give back to you. So ladies, just take a moment just to feel your feminine self. And even though that there is this little epidemic, quite big epidemic that is happening out there in the world right now, you can choose to not make that your reality. You can choose and say, you know, gosh, there's no good guys out there. Yes, there is, because you're going to find the one, or I'm going to find that one, and really affirm yourself to your love life that you're going to find the right guy for you, and guys, that you're going to find the right lady for you. Because it's just like when somebody that comes from impoverished upbringings, very, poor upbringing. I myself came from a very poor upbringing. And I just knew that I wasn't going to be poor in my life. That even though my mom struggled and we didn't have that much, I knew in my life I was going to have it all. And so technically a lot of my family, a lot of people that I know from my neighborhoods are still living very poor, very, lacked mentality. And I don't. And so and we're talking, the odds are against me, right? Like I grew up this way, but I made that choice that was not going to be my life. And so I make choices every day that leads me to success. And so for you, you have to make choices every day that are going to lead you to success in your love life. And how you have compassion, how you look at your online dating profile, how you go out on dates, how you connect, how you email, how you go to different single events, get with your matchmaker, dating coach, go to different charity events, volunteer events, join a hiking club, join the gym, go into different partnership events. But there's so many things to do out there. Networking events, city planning. There's so many fun things, chamber events that just bring people together and give you an opportunity to mix and mingle and share who you are. And so next week we'll talk about how to bring that fun, flirtatious dating personality and playful into your love life, because when you can be that, you'll attract that. So you also attract someone who's going to have joy in his life, passion in his life or her life, and you'll be able to connect that way. So thank you so much for having some one-on-one time with your matchmaker dating coach. And we're going to get through this epidemic. I'm here to help this world cure loneliness. And I'm excited for us to do life together. Stay connected to my podcast. Follow me on Twitter at Renessa Rios. Follow me on Facebook at Renessa Rios and Instagram. And also check out my app. It's going to be on matchdatelove.com. So there's matchdatelove.com. I would love to have you connect with my newsletters, my different invitations that I do. Follow my blog, and just be a part of everything that I want to just encourage you in your life so you aren't doing it alone. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. Reach out to me if you have a question. Reach out to me if you have a concern, and I would be more than happy to support you and encourage you in your love life. Thank you so much. Let's do life together. See you next week. Bye-bye.